Here we are in Chapter 2 Review Exercises, numbers 34 through 40. All with the percent problems. We have a few straightforward ones, and then all of a sudden we have changes going on with them. So we'll write down here. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so 34. 38 is what percent of 58? This is a direct translation where we have 38 is what percent, that's x, of, that's times 58. Hey, we have an equation. Can we solve that? Sure we can. Divide by 58, divide by 58, and punch that into a calculator. 38 divided by 58 is 0.655. X equals 0.655, but we've got to change that into a percent, so that is 65.5%. All right, number 35. What is 87% of 54? Notice this is not even an algebra problem. This is just 87% of 54. So 0.87 times 54. 0.87 times 54. That is 46.98. 46.98. All right, number 36. 105 is 6% of what? That's 105 is 6%. Now notice that's a 0.06 of times what is our x. So now this is just a one-step problem where we divide by 0.06, divide by 0.06 to find our x, and we get that x is 105 divided by 0.06, probably a very large number. Yeah, 1,750. 105 is just a small percent. It would have to be a large number to make sense on that one. All right, number 37. A company made $800 one week, $900 the next week. So they increased $100. What was the percent increase? So you're like, oh, it was 100 out of 800. So punch that into a calculator. 100, they increased 100. Out of the 800 they started with, the original, you always go over the original, and you have 0.125, which is 12.5%. Now before we move on, now's a good time to review the formula that came for percent changes. When you start with something, a principal, and then you either increase or decrease a percentage of that principal to get your final, that's how you do percent changes, where this rate of change right here would be like the thing you're trying to find. So in that case, if you use this formula, it says it increased, you can see that, so it was 800 plus some rate, we don't know what it was, times 800 equaled the final, which was 900. Now, if you plug this in, you're like, oh, hey, look at that. Subtract 800 off, and you have 800R equals, when you subtract 800 from both sides, you get 100, and then you divide the 800, and that's where we got 100 over 800. Some people need this formula to be able to work it out with the algebra. Others can say, oh, it changed 100 out of the original and just put it as a fraction to finish up that way. And either way is fine. You'll notice we get to the same 100 divided by 800 either way. All right, next one, number 38. A couch normally costs $630, but was on sale for $575. What was the percent discount? Well, we could do it, we'll do it both ways, just like we did up here. 630 decreased down to 575. That was a decrease of $55 out of the original 630. And that is, I better plug that one in. 55 divided by 630 is 8.73. 0.0873, that's 8.73% discount. Now, if you wanted to use the formula, it would look like this. The original that you started with was 630. It decreased by some rate times 630 to get to 575. So if you subtract 630, Subtract 630, you get negative 630 times R equals negative 55. Divide by negative 630, divide by negative 630, and the rate, those two negatives will cancel, and you'll get the exact same 0.0873. Righty. Number 39, a chair sold for $267.05. This was after, so this guy is actually the final price. We got to note that. This was after a 25% discount. What was the original price? That means we don't know the original one. So we can just do it in our head with like arithmetic. It started off the price and it was discounted 25% of the original price, not of the 267.05. And that equaled 267.05. You now have an equation. Are there multiple p's? Yes, combine them. This is a 1. 1p minus 0.25p is 0.75p. And some of you will be able to do that in your head as a shortcut. You're like, oh, if we save 25%, then our result must be 75% of where we were. 267.05. And can we solve this? Yep, divide by 0.75, divide by 0.75. Calculator, please. 267.05 divided by 0.75. And it's 356.07. So P is 356.07. And that will be dollars and cents. Yeah, 356.07. All right, number 40. After a 20% tip, so there's our interest rate, that's our R right there, was added onto the cost of a meal. The total bill was, so this is your final. Final is there. What was the original cost? So the original cost, we'll do our P for that one. You could use C or M if you wanted, but since we've got the formula over here, there was an original cost, and then added on to that was a 20% cost of the meal, the price, and that gave us our final, which we know was 45.98. All right, so that's using that formula again with a tip added on instead of like a discount. There's a 1 right there. 1 plus 0.2 is 1.2p equals 45.98. Divide by 1.2, divide by 1.2. And we have p equals, calculator please, 45.98 divided by 1.2. Enter, 38.32 if we round to the nearest penny, 38.32 dollars and cents. So we'll round to the nearest penny there. And that must have been the original price. And you can try it. Take 20% tip of that and add it on, and you'll get that 45.98. Excellent. Percents and percent changes.